Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. If you're trying to level up your finances and grow your business the smart way, then this video is definitely for you. Last year, I started a brand new business and I visited so many banks trying to figure out the first place to start my business funding sequence. Eventually, I did come across PNC, and today we're going to be discussing how you can get $100,000 in business funding, and this will be an update from the video that I did last year. PNC has some powerful business products that make it a top contender if you're really serious about accessing business funding. And as of 2025, they're one of the largest banks in the country, operating in 27 states as of the recording of this video. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can put yourself in position to get $100,000 in business funding from PNC Bank. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So let's start with a recap of PNC Bank. They're currently ranked as the 6th largest bank in the country, but this number fluctuates constantly. So depending on when you're watching this video, it could be the 5th or even 7th largest bank by asset. PNC offers a full suite of financial products, and that includes everything from personal and business checking accounts to high yield savings to credit cards to mortgages to personal loans and investment services. What makes PNC interesting is the kind of business funding they offer, specifically their no-doc business credit cards with 0% APR. You can potentially access limits as high as $25,000 on multiple business credit cards. PNC also offers 2 main checking accounts, the Business Checking and Business Checking Plus. The Business Checking account has a $12 monthly fee, but that can be waived by maintaining a balance of $500 on average or spending $500 on your debit card, as well as receiving $500 in merchant service deposits. That account includes 150 free transactions per month and up to $5,000 in cash deposits without additional fees. If your business is growing and you need more capacity, the Business Checking Plus bumps those limits up to 500 transactions per month and $10,000 in cash deposits. What's especially attractive is that PNC often offers welcome bonuses. For example, you might earn $200 to $400 in a bonus just for meeting a few criteria after opening your business account. Now, PNC isn't perfect. There are some drawbacks to be aware of. While PNC's branch network is large, it's not nationwide. So if you live in a state where they don't operate or they don't have a branch, you may need to look at some other options. The states where PNC has branches include Alabama, Arizona, California, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. So if you do not live or operate your business in one of these states, you may find it difficult to actually get business funding with PNC. You could look at doing a foreign filing. However, I tried that myself and I have had issues with that in the past. So next, we are going to discuss one of the most flexible forms of business financing available, and it can be a total game changer for how you manage your cash flow. And that's going to be a business line of credit. You're approved for a max amount, but instead of receiving all the money at once like a traditional business loan, you only draw from what you need. You pay interest solely on the amount that you borrow and not the full amount available. So if you are approved for, let's say, $100,000, but you only pull $5,000, you're only going to pay interest on that $5,000. That flexibility alone makes it a smarter option for many businesses. You can usually access the funds through your business checking account or directly from your mobile app in many cases. The money becomes available within 24 hours of your request. It's basically the same as having extra capital just sitting on standby in your bank account, ready whenever you need it. So in a sense, a business line of credit is almost like a credit card loan hybrid. It does both of those things, but works very similar to a revolving account. As you repay what you've borrowed, your account credit refreshes just like it would when you're paying down a credit card balance. Depending on the lender, business lines of credit are often active for several months to several years. In PNC's case, they typically check your credit periodically, usually with a soft pull to confirm everything is still in good standing. If needed, though, they might require a reapproval or make adjustments based on your financial situation or broader economic conditions. Just keep in mind that a bank can increase your limit, offer you new financial products, or on the flip side, reduce or revoke your access to lines of credit. That usually only happens if your credit health takes a turn or if the broader financial conditions shift, but it's something that you should be aware of. So when it comes to PNC, we already know that they offer really good credit cards with 0% APR. Like I said before, you can be approved for 2 credit cards with $25,000 limits, giving you access to $50,000 in total. And if you combine that with $50,000 from their business line of credit, that would give you $100,000 in working capital. Now, I believe that you should actually use both of these products. However, let's break down the difference between business credit cards and business lines of credit, because knowing when to use each can save you money and maximize your cash flow. Business credit cards are ideal for everyday purchases. That's going to be like routine transactions, dining, gas, office supplies, software subscriptions, or any expenses that can be processed through a point of sale system or online checkout. If you're doing something simple like grabbing lunch with a client or paying for advertising or refueling a company vehicle, a business credit card is often the smarter choice. So if the merchant accepts credit cards, especially if the card gives you rewards, you should absolutely use it. Now, for business lines of credit, on the other hand, they're a different tool. They shine when you need funding for purchases that simply can't be made on a credit card. Think of it like on-demand cash that you can pull when plastic just will not work. So this will come in handy for situations like paying vendors who don't accept credit cards, covering large inventory orders, maybe a wire transfer or an ACH payment, or managing payroll if your operating cash is temporarily low. So if you run a resale business or deal with wholesale suppliers, you may not be allowed to use credit card payments due to processing fees. In that case, if you have a business line of credit, you can still place a large order without having to wait for sales revenue to hit your account. It also comes in handy during a cash flow gap. Maybe your invoices haven't been paid yet, but you still have expenses that need to be covered. In that moment, a line of credit can keep your business running without missing a beat. Payroll, rent, bulk inventory, and vendor invoices, these are all scenarios where credit cards may be off the table, but your line of credit steps up to cover the gap. But with that said, it's important to understand how interest works with both of these tools. Now, with business credit cards, you typically have a grace period, usually around 30 days. This period is before interest starts accruing. As long as you pay your statement balance in full and by the due date, you don't owe any interest. Even if the card has a high APR, that's one of the biggest advantages of credit cards when managed properly. Of course, with PNC, you do have 0% APR for a promotional period, but after that expires, you will be subjected to the regular APR. With the business line of credit, on the other hand, interest starts accruing as soon as you draw from the account. You only pay interest on the amount that you use, not the full credit line, which is good, but there's no grace period. If you borrow $10,000 today, you'll start accruing interest on $10,000 tomorrow, even if you plan to pay it back quickly. So the key here is strategy. Use your business credit cards for everyday purchases that you can pay off quickly and earn rewards on, and use your business line of credit when you need cash for payments that credit cards can't quite cover. So now that we've discussed the difference between the PNC credit cards and the business line of credit, let's go over some key data points when it comes to getting approved with PNC Bank. So whether you're applying for the business credit cards or the line of credit, this criteria will apply. First off, PNC typically pulls your personal credit report for either Experian or Equifax, but generally they're going to be looking at your Experian credit score. Based on recent patterns, they generally look for a FICO score of at least 680. That doesn't mean you need to have a perfect credit profile, but it does mean they want to see at least a clean history with no recent charge-offs, no active collections, and ideally utilization that's below 30%. However, if you're aiming for the highest possible approval amounts, whether it's a large credit card or a limit for a substantial business line of credit, you should really look to lower your utilization to 5%. Or even lower than that. The lower percentage shows lenders that you're not overly reliant on revolving lines of credit and that you manage your debt responsibly. Now, I do want to make note, for business credit cards, PNC still does not require any documentation, but if your business is less than 2 years old, the business line of credit will require at least 3 years of your personal tax returns. However, they do not require your business tax returns. Now, if you want to increase your odds of getting approved, I do suggest opening a business bank account with PNC first. When I started my new business back in March of 2024, I opened a business checking and savings account with PNC, and I made deposits of $25 every single week for 90 days. Now, PNC doesn't require you to open a business bank account in order to apply for a credit card or the business line of credit, but I highly recommend doing it anyway. It'll help you establish a relationship that can dramatically increase your odds of approval, and lenders love to see customers with active, consistent account histories and behaviors because it builds trust. Now, let's break down the steps that you can take to get approved for the PNC business credit cards as well as the business line of credit. So number one, you want to apply for a business bank account with PNC. We're going to go to the website and we're going to review these accounts so we can decide which one will be best for you. Next, you will fund the checking account and make your deposits for 90 days. After that, you will apply for the credit card and the business line of credit if you can meet the previous data points. Currently, we are on PNC.com and we're taking a look at the business checking accounts. Recently, I released a video that talked about opening business checking accounts and receiving bank bonuses. You can receive a $400 cash reward bonus for opening and using a business checking or business checking plus account with PNC, and that offer will expire June 30th, 2025. If you want to see more banks like this, then I highly recommend that you watch that video. Now, we already talked about these accounts and exactly what the fees are and what you need to maintain in order to not be charged. However, if you're a brand new business, I recommend just going with the most popular one, the business checking. All you have to do is make your initial deposit to open the account, and it could be something small, as simple as $25, maybe even $100, and then you want to make deposits weekly. The more activity, the better. And then I would do that for 90 days. Now, if you're going to actually be using this account for business activity and you think that you're going to be making a lot of transactions on the account, you may want to look at the business checking plus. However, for PNC, I don't really think it makes a difference for which one of these that you choose. I just suggest picking the one that's most comfortable for you and your business needs. Now, let's take a look at the business credit cards that you can get with PNC. Let's start with the PNC Cash Rewards Visa Signature Card. You can earn 3% cash back on net purchases during your first 12 months. You can also earn 1.5% cash back on all net purchases, and that's going to be an unlimited 1.5% cash back. You can also earn a bonus 1.5% cash back for the first 12 months. That's how you end up getting 3%. There's no category restrictions and no caps on the cash back that you can earn, and you redeem cash back as a statement credit or deposit cash back into an eligible PNC checking or savings account. Now, this one I'm going to recommend if you have a business where you plan on spending a lot, because you can earn that 3% cash back in the first 12 months. That way you can actually make some money as you're using this for business purposes. The next card that we're looking at is the PNC Visa Business Credit Card. Now, this one will help you maximize your working capital. You get 0% intro APR for 13 billing cycles following opening the account, and you also get 0% APR for balance transfers. However, you need to do the balance transfer in the first 90 days following account opening. This one also has no annual fee. Now, I recommend using this one if you plan on transferring, let's say, a balance from a different business credit card or maybe even personal credit. That way you have 0% APR to pay that off without interest. Other than that, there really wouldn't be a good reason to utilize this unless that was your intention. The next card we're looking at is the PNC Points Visa Business Credit Card. You can earn 5 points for every $1 in qualifying purchases, and you can select from thousands of rewards, including electronics, gift cards, merchandise, and travel. You can also boost your earning potential by linking your personal PNC Points credit card. This card has no annual fee. Now, when it comes to business funding, this is one of the cards that I probably would not apply for, or if I just wanted to maybe get the other two first and then get this one afterwards, then possibly I would apply for it. But for business purposes, I really couldn't think of too many good things that you could do with this one. So I'm not going to recommend it, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't apply for it if you can find a purpose. After that, we have the PNC Travel Rewards Visa Business Credit Card. You can earn miles towards air travel, hotel stays, and more. You earn 1 mile for every $1 in net purchases. You also earn double miles on the first $2,500 in net purchases. You can also book your own travel and redeem miles for a statement credit. You can save with no foreign transaction fees on purchases outside of the US when you use PNC Travel Rewards Visa Business Credit Card. There's also no annual fee for this one as well. Now, I have to say, there are so many business credit cards that offer better travel perks. I'm not going to recommend this for travel. If you wanted to just get the card to get a high credit limit, then maybe, but other than that, I'm not going to recommend this card. And last, we have the PNC Business Options Visa Signature Credit Card. This one has more flexible options for more complex needs. Now, this is the only card that you have to talk to your banker or call in order to actually qualify for this one. And you can also receive an $800 statement credit. So to make things easier for you guys, the first two cards that we looked at, the PNC Cash Rewards Visa Signature Business Credit Card and the PNC Visa Business Credit Card, those are the two that I'm going to recommend that you get. The combination of what these two cards can do for most business owners is exactly what you're going to need. And if you get approved for $25,000 between both of these cards, that's going to be your $50,000 right there that you need. All right, we are now looking at the unsecured small business line of credit. Now, this is for businesses that are seeking an unsecured line of credit that's between $20,000 and $100,000. So there's so many ways to access these funds. Like I said before, you can use a check, you can transfer it. You also have a variable interest rate that's based on the prime rate, but again, that's constantly changing. So depending on the time that you're watching this video, more than likely the prime rate has changed. So I recommend coming back to this page and checking out what the current rates are at the time. The payment amount is 1.5% of the balance. So if you end up using, let's say, $25,000, the minimum payment that you could make is 1.5% or $100. Your line of credit may also be eligible for overdraft protection from your PNC Bank business checking account. There's no collateral required. Once again, the annual fee for this account will be $175. Now, one thing that I really love about PNC, they actually give you a lot of information up front so you know exactly what to expect when you apply for this business line of credit. You want to make sure that you have any available special loan promotional offers with you if it's applicable. You want to know the dollar amount that you are applying for and that you want to borrow. You will need your business name, your address, the type of organization, and the year that it was established. You will need your business tax ID, your annual sales, and your number of employees. Information about each business owner, which is going to be the name, home address, the social, the title, the ownership percentage of the business, and they're also going to want to see your government issued ID or maybe even your passport. And you may want to have copies of your most recent business and personal tax returns or other financial statements to assist with the completion of this application. Now, this one does require you to have low documentation. Low documentation meaning they could potentially ask you for your bank statements, or they may also ask you for your personal tax returns for the last 3 years, as stated previously. As long as you have one of these two things, you should be okay and you should get approved for this, as well as meeting the data point requirements that we talked about before. You also have the convenience of applying over the phone or at any PNC branch, and you could choose whichever way you prefer. After you apply, you can expect a clear explanation of the decision, as well as a solution identified for your consideration for addressing current and future borrowing needs. So they'll tell you exactly why you were approved or not approved and exactly what you can do to maybe change that. I've called PNC recently asking about this exact product. Again, they were very helpful. A lot of the information from this video came from me calling this number that you see here, 1-855-762-2365. They're available Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you do have any additional questions that were not answered in this video, then I highly recommend that you give them a call. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you follow the steps from this video and you open your business account, you guard it for about 90 days, and of course you meet the credit requirements and everything that's needed as far as documentation, you should be able to get $100,000 from PNC. If you guys were approved for any of their credit cards or the business line of credit, please leave a comment with your data points. Let us know what you were approved for and give us some information about the process. That way, anybody else watching this video can learn from your personal experience so that they can possibly be approved as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and you guys have a wonderful day.